Believe it or not, look at that. It's exactly 2:00. I still felt a little guilty being a little late last week. So I did a lot of pre-production. So here I am, happy to see you. Welcome. This is Satellite Sisters Cooking with Liz. Hold on, I have my credits over here. Oh my God. Oh, you know what? I'm just going to go directly to what I'm doing today. So here's the deal with today. I was thinking a lot about like just spring vegetables. I love peas and beans and things, but it's been exhausting lately. I just have a lot of work and I'm doing the show and I get a lot going on. So I thought I'm going to make something super simple this week. Liz makes a green salad, but a tasty, super special green salad. As Lian would say, you just got to elevate a little. Just an elevated green salad. That was my goal going into this. So one of my favorite salad chefs, I guess, he's much more than a salad chef, of course, but I don't know if you've ever heard of this guy, Yotam Ottolenghi. He's a chef. He runs restaurants in London. I think he's Israeli, but he basically makes the best vegetables in the world. So I've been slowly trying to teach myself how to elevate vegetables the way Ottolenghi does. So this is today. Liz makes an elevated salad with peas and beans and spices and seeds. And I added a lot of the ands, because despite my goal to make this just a nice, simple thing we could do on a Saturday afternoon, because I'm actually having friends for dinner tonight, this turned out to be the most expensive, most time-consuming salad I've ever made in my life. It better be good. That's all I can say. It better be good, because it feels like I've been working on it for the last 48 hours. Now, one of the exciting parts is that I realized that the recipe calls for using a mortar and pestle, which I did not own. So every once in a while, one of those recipes comes along and I say, well, I don't really need to get a mortar and pestle because, I just don't really need that. I can crush it with my bare hands or something. But I don't know. At some point yesterday afternoon, I thought, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to elevate this whole thing by acquiring a mortar and pestle. Now, you know what I would normally do? Yeah, I would get Crate and Barrel on the blower, but it was already too late. It was already Friday afternoon when I committed to this for 2:00 this afternoon. So, as if I hadn't already gone to enough grocery stores to find the ingredients for this elevated salad, then I started thinking, so where in my neighborhood am I going to find a mortar and pestle? So I Googled it, mortar and pestle near me, it's supposed to come up. It said they had them at Target. No, they did not. I went to one other grocery store, like a fancy Bristol Farms where they have stuff like that. No, they did not. I knew I could drive to the Crate and Barrel, but from where I live on a Friday afternoon, that's 45 minutes away. And I thought, I do not need it that much. So then I realized there is a Williams-Sonoma right in my neighborhood. I occasionally nip in there for some kind of emergency thing that I need. So yes, sirree, that's where I was at 6:00 last night. I went in, hold on. My mise en place today looks gorgeous, by the way. I am now the proud owner of this. Okay. Oh, Diane's saying this is when you phone a friend for utensils. Diane, do you have a mortar? I could have called you. Right. Diane is the Satellite Sisters accountant and procurement director. Could you have procured me a mortar? Anyway, so but maybe it was just about time that I owned one of these. So here you go. Happy spring to me. Cooking with Liz now owns this piece of equipment. But I didn't do any of the crushing yet because I knew you would want to see that live. I knew you would want to see me use this. So, okay, hold on. I'm going to get out yeah, that's a good looking one. I know Garden Poet. That's what talk about elevated. That's what elevated the price of making this salad. When you end up with the last minute fancy piece of equipment from Williams Sonoma, yeah, you're out of like salad land now into gourmet fixins. So here's what I'm making, right? So this is all posted here in the notes on YouTube, but also on the Satellite Sisters Facebook group. So this is green bean salad with mustard seeds and tarragon. And as we were talking about this on the podcast the other day, I started by saying I wanted to make something with peas. And then I told Lian and Julie, like, this is what I was making. And Lian's like, I thought you wanted to make peas. But as you can see from the photo, peas are a major ingredient here. They just, for some reason, didn't make the title. The green beans, the mustard seeds, and the tarragon made the title. But I think there are a lot of peas in there. So, okay, hold on. So, yeah, okay, Kathy, you're right. A lot complicated and ingredients that are unfamiliar. That's what I'm going to explain a little bit right now. So let me look, again, I want to show you my beautiful mise en place because, ooh la la, now we're talking peas, right, people? So if you read the recipe, you'll see that it's green beans, snow peas, and peas, and you blanch them all in advance, which is something I do not spend any time doing in my life, blanching. But I knew the basics, that it's plunging it into boiling water and then plunging it into ice water. But on this recipe, some things are blanched for 4 minutes, some things are blanched for 20 seconds. So this looks simple, but this was quite a bit of work just to get this far. I know Malibu sky, it's all green, but I think that's what's nice this time of year. Super springy, and we're about to add a few other things, but anyway, so that's that. Then I had to get, hold on, once again, where did I put the unfamiliar ingredients? Yes. So remember when I first started this? If you can cast your mind back that far to the beginning of the unpleasantness, that the whole point was the very beginning of the pandemic, that I could only go to the store once a week, and I could only go to one store. Those were the Cooking with Liz rules. And for more than a year and a half, I abided by that. Going to the store once a week, and if they didn't have it, I had to figure out some kind of substitution. Well, obviously, all of the rules have been loosened now. I can go to more stores. Lefty doesn't always enjoy doing too much shopping, but I ended up, this is, the early pandemic Liz would be horrified at the thought that I went to 5 different grocery stores yesterday to try to find the various ingredients to this. And then when I was doing my mise en place today, well, I'll tell you when we get there, I still came up short on one ingredient. So yes, so one of the, so the recipe calls for coriander seeds. So I found those. Mustard seed. Now it didn't specify what kind of mustard seed to get. So I went with the yellow. I don't know if you people have any insights on, because there was black, there were several kinds. So these are the little spendy spices that can be a little hard to find, but I managed to get both of these in one store. This is great. But that store did not have the mystery ingredient called Nigella Seeds. And when I read the recipe, I was like, does Nigella Lawson have her own seeds now? Does she just make up her own stuff? Okay, Garden Poet, yellow is milder. The brown ones are kind of hot. Okay. Yeah, I know, Kathy, 5 stores. Well, wait till you hear. So I don't know what a Nigella seed is. I suspect most of you don't know what a Nigella seed is. So I posted that in the Satellite Sisters Facebook group, help, Nigella seeds. Does anyone give me a good steer on Nigella seeds? So it was Debbie Abood, immediately jumped into the conversation. Thank you so much, Debbie. And here's what she said. So I'm going to read you what she posted here, because once again, Satellite Sisterhood comes through. So Debbie says, Liz, I use Nigella seeds in my Ukrainian Easter bread. They are also called black caraway seeds. Not caraway, black caraway, big difference. They are delicious and very distinctive. Don't skip them if the recipe calls for them, because they are what will give it the flavor you need. I can see them in this pic. Call your local spice shop. They should have them. Mine ordered them for me, blah, 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 blah. So, okay. So so because I was starting on this at the beginning of the week, I did actually go online and I ordered Nigella seeds from like spicestore.com or something. And it said it would be here in time, but okay, you know where I'm going with this. Yeah, no. So by yesterday, I hadn't gotten any confirmation that it had been shipped or anything. So yesterday became the great Nigella seed search. So so I went to Bristol Farms because it's very high end and they have lots of different kinds of things. No, nothing at Bristol Farms. I went to Whole Foods. No. I went to Ralph's. According Google said Ralph's had them. No, nobody really has them. And then, but Debbie's right. And I knew one good thing about living on the west side of LA is that there are a lot of Asian grocery stores. There are also a lot of Persian grocery stores. We have the biggest Iranian population outside of Iran here in West LA. So I was like, okay, there's a Tehran market right in my neighborhood. I go in there sometimes for stuff. You know, that seems like the kind of thing that Tehran market would have. And sure enough, last night, of course, after my physical therapy appointment, I nipped into the Tehran market on my way home, and they had the Nigella seeds. But Debbie, thank goodness you told me. You told me it was the same as black caraway. So I'm going with this, Debbie. This is for you. And I now have, this is the only size container they had. So I now have a lifetime supply of Nigella seeds, AKA black caraway. But then if you read the print on this, it's also AKA black cumin, which if I had known it was also black cumin, I think I saw black cumin in one of the earlier stores. Anyway, so I'm covered here. You're going to see me do this. So, okay, so we got that. And so now we're just going to start. Oh my goodness, awesome to catch you live. I'm a longtime Satellite Sister listener from the Caribbean. How nice. Please tell me where in the Caribbean. Oh, the Caribbean. That's just such a pleasure to think about. Okay, so here we go. As I mentioned, the first thing you have to do is blanch all the vegetables. So I did this. We have nice fresh peas this time of year. So these were fresh peas, but it was frozen snow peas. But there you go. So we got that. Now, okay, hold on. Okay, so blah, 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 boil, blanch. Put the coriander seeds, mustard seeds, and oil in a small saucepan and heat up. So that's the part that I thought you would enjoy seeing me do live, because that's like the fun part. And we're working with unfamiliar ingredients. So I've got my little pan over here. Let me just, gonna turn that up. It says, can you believe I'm making a salad and I've been at this for like 2 hours? Ooh. Yeah, Diane says lots of recipes online with Nigella seeds. Well, we're about to find out what they taste like. So, okay, so Cora, how much oil does it say to put in here? Just, okay, whatever. Just gonna splash some oil in here. And this is, so put the coriander seeds, mustard seeds, and oil in a small saucepan and heat up. When the seeds begin to pop, pour them over the beans and peas. So, okay, so I guess it is important how much oil I have here. 3 tablespoons olive oil. Okay, here we go. 3 tablespoons olive oil. Remember these. I've really gotten used to using actual measurements. Okay, so 3, this is 1.5. So 3 tablespoons olive oil. I'm really looking forward to smelling this. Again, how many times have I asked for smell-o-vision and Hollywood just isn't making it happen? So, okay. So then I already measured out, these are the mustard seeds, right? So this is, what is this? So I measured this out before you got here. Let's see. Yeah, mustard seeds and coriander seeds and oil. Okay, so I'm putting the mustard seeds in. The coriander seeds, this is where it gets exciting, because this is what I have to, okay, let's see if I can get this a little closer. Okay, so now look at me crushing the coriander seeds. Sounds very crunchy. I don't know if you can really see. Okay, crushing the coriander seeds. Okay, so I'm going to, before I just dump those in, I just have to keep reading. Okay, so the coriander seeds are going in the oil here. And then, let's see, we get out the Betty. Okay, so, I don't know if you can see in there. So that's what that looks like in there. So it says when they start popping, that's when I pour them over. Okay, you work in tech, smell-o-vision, baby. I just think, you know, for all of the cooking media that there is, somebody needs to like make that happen. Okay, so, all right, so there's so much going on here. Coriander seeds, mustard seeds, and oil in saucepan, heat up. When the seeds begin to pop, pour the contents of the pan over the beans and peas. So I'm going to move this out of the way, move this out of the way, move this out of the way. Okay. Okay, now while this is sort of cooking up, I have another confession to make. Mild red pepper didn't really do very well with that. I bought this orange pepper. All of the red peppers that they had all the stores I went to, they were all very hot peppers. And so I forget what kind of pepper this is, but the person in the produce department assured me this. Can you hear them starting to pop? Okay. I hope you can hear the popping. Okay. Okay, how do I, when the seeds begin to pop, well, they're definitely beginning to pop now. Okay. Whoa. Pop it. Okay, so now we're pouring the coriander seeds and the mustard seeds over the veg here, as Adolangi would say, the veg. Okay, and toss that. You know, it smells a little like popcorn. Okay. Wow, this already looks exotic and delicious. Look at how tasty, and I still have multiple ingredients to go. Okay, so now seeds begin to pop, blah, blah, blah. Toss together, then add the Nigella seeds, red onion. Okay, I'm gonna add the red onion. Chili, so I'm adding, it's not red chili, I went with the orange. Garlic, I already had that over here. So I have the garlic, throwing that in. And then, okay, so Nigella seeds. Let's do it with the mystery ingredient. I didn't open this yet. Okay. Nigella seeds / black caraway / black cumin. All right. I'm going back. How many? What are the Nigella seeds? Oh, just 1 teaspoon. Oh my God, I have this many Nigella seeds that I only need 1 teaspoon. So if anyone would like some of these, I'll just put them out at the tasting window. Please come by and help yourselves. So, all right, so 1 teaspoon. We're going to add 1 teaspoon here. Here's a teaspoon. Okay, Debbie, you said, again, smell-o-vision. Debbie assured me that you can't do this dish without, okay. So now, all right, you see how beautiful that looks? Oh my God. You know, and a lot of good smells coming out. It smells slightly, I read when I was doing my extensive research into Nigella seeds, some people wrote that they are good substitutes for sesame seeds. And it does smell a little sesame-ish. Okay, wait. Now I know there are 2 ingredients I haven't put in yet because one, there is a small confession to make. The lemon zest. Oh, I'll do the lemon zest. Let me do that. Okay, I'm just going to zest this. Rather than doing the zesting before you got here, I thought, let's zest together. Okay. Is that too big? Maybe that's too big. All right. And now, remember the title of this recipe was like green beans and mustard seed and tarragon salad. And I don't know how, when I went to do my mise en place today, I know I bought tarragon yesterday. I had my hands on fresh tarragon, and I cannot find it today. But luckily, I went into the Spice Museum, and I had this tarragon. So how much tarragon goes in this bad boy? I don't think it's a lot. 2 tablespoons. Okay. Now, does anyone want to give me any direction, like the difference between how many I would need if it's not fresh, if it's dried tarragon? I'm not a huge tarragon fan. So I know it says 2 tablespoons. I'm going to do less than that. I'm going to cut it in half, taste it, and then see if it's tarragon-y. Probably just a teaspoon or 2 dried, Emily says. Yeah, I'm going with that, Emily. Adrian says yes, less, like half. Okay. All right. So that goes there. Oh my God. This really. Okay. Look at that. As I said at the beginning of this, it better be good because I used up a tank full of gas getting all of the ingredients. But that looks good. That looks super tasty. So I'm going to take a little taste now. One thing I haven't put in yet is any salt and pepper because I thought, doesn't even sea salt? Yeah, sea salt. Okay, I'm going to get my sea salt out. I'm going to season it. Ooh. Okay, sea salt I had over here. Sea salt. Okay. I'm going to taste it, and then I have my sea salt from Imperfect Foods. Okay. So this bite has peas, it has some of the pepper, it has onions, it has Nigella seeds, some of the coriander seeds, mustard seeds. Wow. Something in there is pretty hot. Wow. Okay. I think maybe the pepper I chose, not mild. I might have to go in and remove the pepper once you're gone. So really good. Really good. Okay. So, so that's it. Okay, now I had 2 other surprises I wanted to just build because I knew that the salad, all of the work was done before you got here. A lot of it was. So I wanted to show you 2 things that are going on here in in Liz's Tasting Kitchen. I mentioned on the podcast the other day that I would be serving a roast loin of pork. You know, ButcherBox is one of our sponsors, and roast pork is really great. So I made that today too, midday, so that I can serve it cold. So I just wanted to show you what that looks like. So here's very nice looking roast pork. I tasted this. Super tasty. Marinated this overnight. But, you know, when they cook things on TV, they never come out looking as messy as this. But anyway, once I get this shaped up and on a platter, this is going to be good. So that's surprise number one is the bonus roast pork loin that I didn't even tell you were going to see. But then the other thing, again, casting our minds back to the beginning of the Korean Unpleasantness. At one point, we took a tour of my spice museum. Because I didn't cook much, I really didn't have any up-to-date spices. And a lot of the spices in my spice drawer were very, very old. I mean, some of them I had bought years ago, and some of them I even, after my mother died and we were emptying out her place. So I had Edna Dolan spices in my spice museum. So that's, okay, so remember the first time we looked in there? Now, quite a few things in there have been freshened up because I use them a lot more. But there's one other thing I want to show you, just the overflow of spices I have here now. Check this out. Like, look at all of the extra ingredients I have now that 2 years ago, would I have owned any of these things? No. Now, some of them are oils. Back there, that is the tawny port I used in the pate that I made at the holiday season. But I'm just going to randomly pull some things out and to show you what I own now. Like, okay. Restaurant grade soy sauce from Momofuku. You know Dave Chang, the chef? I love him. I think he's really an interesting guy to listen to. Momofuku are his restaurants. So he's now got like this pantry collection. So I bought Dave Chang's soy sauce. I've already used a whole bottle. Dave Chang also makes this, which I highly recommend if you like spicy food or just like on rice or something, the Momofuku Chili Crunch. So I use that. But anyway, what do we have here? We have onion powder. We have tagine. Let's see. Well, this I bought for last week. Remember, I got the good French mustard. Anyway, I just wanted to show you that because there's a whole world happening in my kitchen now that did not used to exist. So I'm probably going to have to find a better way to organize it than just leaving it all on the counter like that. And it doesn't fit in my spice museum. So anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you because you might be surprised. But what have I said from the beginning? It's all about the learning. And should the mustard be in the fridge? I don't know, Garden Poet. People can weigh in on this. So I'm learning a lot about how to add spices and condiments to tasty foods. So, and then another thing, my lesson from Mark Capra, son of Mama Capra, remember he would always say, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of the garlic. Don't be afraid of this. Don't be afraid. So I'm not afraid of putting things in, though maybe I should have been a little afraid of all the pepper I put in the salad. But anyway, don't be afraid. So that is pretty much it. I'm going to leave you with another gorgeous look at this. Does anyone have any questions? I'm going to scroll through the comments to see if anyone, Malibu Sky, I need to taste things before I put them in. That's a good lesson. I think you're right. I should have taken, yeah. What else do we have here? Small amounts, taste, add more if you need to. It's so obvious when you say it, but I don't know. It seemed like I was just following the instructions instead of following my taste. So Emily, thank you for being impressed. Garden Poet about the mustard being in the fridge. I don't know. I feel like in France, you always see people with mustard out on the counter. But if I'm going to kill myself that way, please alert the authorities or alert me. Okay, so thank you everyone for coming. It's for the debut of the Mortar and Pestle. Did you say Mortar and Pestle or Mortar and Pestle? I thought it was Mortar and Pestle, but I know I've said it both ways today here with you. Anyway, so thank you. If you try it, let me know. Please, as long as you're here, subscribe to the Satellite Sisters YouTube channel. We're going to be doing other videos that will not be cooking with Liz, that will actually be actual Satellite Sisters videos. So if you're subscribed to the channel, you'll always know that. Also, every week I post the podcast here now, so that if you ever want to send the podcast to one of your friends, super easy to forward it from YouTube. Now there's no video with it anymore. It's just a logo. Not anymore. Of course, there's not a video. It's still just audio. But anyway, it's another easy way for you to find the podcast. That's the word I was looking for. Podcast. Okay. So speaking of podcasts, we drop every Tuesday. Looking forward to hearing from people before then. You can always email us. Our email is hello@satellitesisters.com. And our website is satellitesisters.com. So thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. You know what we say here at the end of every Satellite Sisters? Peace and sauce.